What up, YouTube? It's your boy Vince Rashad, aka the Truth Terrorist 2, up in this piece. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about a YouTuber who I used to kind of jab with her a little bit back in the day. I haven't listened to none of her videos, oh my lord, man, in probably a year and a half, almost 2 years. The last video that I can remember she did, this person is a girl by the name of MSARCHDUCHESS, who claims that she's in a interracial relationship. You may remember that a couple years ago, she posted up a BDSM video, a racially based BDSM video in which a white woman was basically denigrating a black man, but this was from a paid porn studio. And we all should know that whenever you look at studio porn, let me put it that way, studio porn, you're just looking at a big dick dude, usually, who's having sex with a prostitute. That's about it. You know, these are little escorts and people who are snatched up to do sex acting, you know. So the white woman in this video was paid to denigrate black men, and she said a whole bunch of stuff about black men wanting her and her vanilla skin, and your black ass just needs me and got to have me, you subservient little monkey boy. You know, it was a bunch of stuff, but it was verbal race play fetish. It was basically a bunch of material recorded in a race-based sex material recorded at a studio. Now, recently, a female by the name of Amelia Madison, I think I posted up that video yesterday. Now, this is what you call real true mammyism. And I'm not going to say that MSARCHDUCHESS, Blendian Swirl, and her ilk are abandoning this lady. But this shows you what mammyism is, because the mammy was on the plantation, was asexual. She was in charge of beating the living breaks off of all the young boys to make sure that they don't get too masculine. She was in charge of letting them know that they could only get up to a certain level of social understanding and advancement, mainly picking at cotton, chopping at wood, and living lives on a farm engaged in forced agrarianism, basically. Slavery, forced agrarianism. The mammy also, when in public, often, as you've seen in the Nate Parker Birth of a Nation movie, often there were big, giant, important meetings and parties and balls or whatnot that were held at plantations. And the mammy to the outside world, who didn't necessarily look into what was happening on the plantation, was in charge of protecting and defending the plantation, and overall protecting and defending and smoothing over the institution of slavery. With that said, the video that MSARCHDUCHESS did upwards of nearly 2 years ago is in no shape or way comparable to this real, true, actual situation that just happened. Because if you look at it, as you notice her standing there, she found it necessary to, number one, go grab a camera and record this as if it's funny. Now, don't get me wrong. This lady, don't get the situation wrong. This lady didn't post this up to show the world her racist boyfriend. That is not why she posted up that video. She posted up that video to basically display mammyism. This is part of the reason why in the interview she did with Crystalline Kerosene, you'll notice that real quick and fast, Crystalline Kerosene hurried up and rushed to her real quick and fast. Now, in order to counter this situation, if I was Crystalline Kerosene and if I was a swirler, this is what I would do. I would have snatched up a couple of my friends who are in interracial relationships and a couple of my friends who have a relatively normal relationship with their white spouse, their white husband. and we would have went on a picnic, we would have went out to eat, we would have went bowling, and we would have just showed ourselves out having fun. This is what regular interracial couples do. That bullshit was isolated. But that's not what Kerosene and what the archduchesses and the swirlers of the world doing. What they're engaged in is 100% certified mammyism. And for a long time, and I'm kind of glad this situation happened, because for a long time, they've been trying to label the sisters out there, the real true cis stars out there, mammies, for being what every woman in the world naturally is. And that is mother, lover, and caretaker of her own community. In their mind, that makes a black woman a mammy. But sitting up there getting called a nigger, a monkey, and just downright dehumanized. And it's not just the fact that he did that. It's the fact that they psychologically and systematically are defending it. Because it doesn't matter. It's just like somebody else said. One thing that is a rule of white supremacy is that white people, one of the privileges of white supremacy is that white people get the privilege of individuality, of being individual. But when a black person does anything, everybody black got to answer. So whatever black man, her baby daddy, Crystal and Kerosene I'm talking about, and Archduchess or whoever, whatever black man hurt them, all black men are evil because a black man hurt me. But this person who they tried to miscategorize, sadly, as a narcissist. Narcissism is having an overinflated, self-important view. Very similar to what black women did during the whole Nate Parker ordeal. They believe that the movie made about $8 million the first week because black women didn't support the movie. Although the majority of the people who seen the movie, now that we're kind of realizing some stuff, were potentially black women. And the fact of the matter is that a week later, after that movie was released, Denzel Washington released a movie that made $2 million less than Birth of a Nation. So it's an act of narcissism to overplay your importance in thinking that in some shape or way you aided in ruining or trying or attempting to ruin a movie that was actually a success. But this Kerosene, while interviewing this mammified subhuman dinger bitch, and this is something else I want to say too. Any woman who fixes her mouth to in any shape or way defend this female, bitch, fuck you. Get over there with her and ride on into the swirl sunset with her. Fuck you. You got to have people from among your group who you dismiss to for a female to sit up and allow herself to be denigrated like that. That is the type of woman that you racially dismiss. She is dismissed. She can get shot in the head. Look, I don't care if the bitch get raped and threw in a fucking sewer, or if a motherfucker punch her in the head, her brain start leaking out her ear, and she just slowly dies in the middle of the street. This is the type of hostility that black people have to start having, because part of the reason that you're on the bottom is because you're too fucking kind. And you all got these fucking black women sitting up talking about, you don't make no excuse for, it ain't no reason for you all to be talking about her like that. Fuck you and that bitch. If you even fix your mouth, or if you even configure your hands to wave above your keyboard and in any shape or way type out a defense for that bitch, fuck you and fuck her. That bitch is an upholder of white supremacy. She is a pure, unadulterated Nazi. Because black people don't get individuality with these people. Black people, and specifically black men, if one black man does wrong, all black men are evil, but yet white men get the privilege of individuality. I'm going to go in on part 2 on this female. Check out part 2.